Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Atlas podcast. In preparation for this one, I had a good laugh because I almost forgot the intro. It's been so damn long since we've had an episode here. But I appreciate you following along, and I look forward to chatting with you today as we enter another Relationship Atlas podcast where I help you map out and walk through the terrain of your intimate relationships. So today I want to talk about something that has come up in almost every single one of my coaching calls as of late and also in the past. And it comes up when I'm working with couples. And what comes up is this idea, or at least this story, that I am not going to give until I get. I am not getting something I'm looking for, but I'm not going to look at myself to see if I'm giving that. I'm just going to wait or be snarky, snippy, rude, closed off, disconnected until I get it. And it couples into this idea that if they wanted to, they would, and they know what I want. All of these assumptions are very dangerous ways of operating in a relationship. They're also very selfish. And this may come across as a bit confronting for some listening, but it is incredibly important that we get confrontational with ourselves, especially in an intimate relationship. So, like I said, this comes up in almost every single scenario with the couples that I work with. And I'm sure you can sense where we're going with this, that we're going to be flipping this on its head. So let's just get there. When you are looking to receive something from your partner, the very first thing you should do is ask yourself if you're giving it. The first thing is not to go and ask for it. And why that is often the case and prove to be better results for your relationship dynamic is because if you lead with, hey, I'm looking to get this from you. Hey, I'm looking to get that from you. Hey, if you could do more of this, that would be great. Hey, do this, do that, do this, and do that. If you lean into that, it starts to become a very demanding environment where one person is just simply constantly peppering the other with, you're not good enough. You're not going to be good enough. Why can't you be good enough? Why are you not just doing these things on your own? Why do I always have to bother you with it? Fill in the blank. And yes, there are circumstances where that may be the case, but I don't care, truthfully, because here's the point of this whole story is that if you're asking for something you're not giving, well, I'm not quite sure where you see the logic. And if you come to me and you say, but I have asked in the past, even though I've been giving it, cool, great. That's a different conversation. I'm happy to entertain how to support with that. But what I'm talking about here and now is if you're sitting in a relationship dynamic and you're choosing not to give something to somebody simply because you're not getting it, this is no longer about them and this is completely about you. The struggle that I would bargain you're now faced with is what kind of person do you want to be? How do you want to show up in a relationship dynamic? What do you give for? What do you invest in things for? Is it simply to get? Is that the only reason? Or do you have a belief about yourself that when I give because I value giving? And if that's the case, then great. Entering into a giving scenario for the things that you would like to get shouldn't be too difficult. But here is again another caveat. If you give only to get, you will not be satisfied. You will not be fulfilled because you will be on the lookout and hyper vigilant towards every move they make after you've given. So we're blurring a lot of lines here when we say, I only give to get, and we're blurring a lot of lines when we say, I won't give until I get. And so when I work with clients, we build the capacity to face ourselves and take ownership for the fact that we're not giving. Then we start to give. So, for example, a lot of clients look for appreciation or validation. That's one of the largest pieces that we work on and in this department of communication and getting what you're looking for. So, a lot of it's just simply acknowledgement. I would like you to notice that I exist. The things that I'm doing matter, that you see me. And so we say, okay, great. Well, are you seeing them as well? That's the starting point. So we begin the work and we go to battle and we fight every day, not to get lost in getting, but to simply go in and say, I love this person. And I'm going to be over here withholding the love I would like to give them because I'm not getting the validation I believe I deserve. I'm sure you can hear the flaws in that. So we start to give. Okay. The action point is give. Hey, thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. Out of just simply pure thank you, because it actually did help your life. We go out in the world into our partnerships and we start to show gratitude. We start to show appreciation. The things that we're looking for, we start to give. Then we take it a step further and we say, okay, you're currently feeling either underappreciated, undervalued, or unacknowledged. Great. So now I want you to take full stock of all of the things that your partner is currently doing to invest in this relationship that you're not taking the time to acknowledge. So you're going to take an inventory list now and you're going to look at it and you're going to say, okay, I know they do this every day. I don't say a word. I also know they have done this for years and I've barely ever said anything. I know that these things exist and they just pass by my everyday and I don't say anything. Perfect. Excellent. Just so we're on the same page, your partner probably thinks the same thing. These things happen every day. There are ways in which you operate. I married this person because of the things that you do. And so therefore they happen and I'm married into that. So is that not showing my gratitude? Which is ironic because that's the same position you're in. So therefore, what we're going to start to do is take the inventory and we're actually going to point those things out now when they happen, or we're just going to have an outright conversation. Hey, I noticed I'm not appreciating you enough lately. And I don't like that. I don't want to be that kind of person. And so I just want you to know I really see all the hard work that you've been up to. And I really appreciate that you're really working to get things done for us. I really appreciate that. And then move on. Maybe they say something back, maybe they don't. Obviously, the best case is that they do. But the process we're taking on is how I feel about how I am operating. Less about how I feel about how you're operating, because that is often just a story filled with expectations and assumptions and dangerous words. So we're going to pull back and we're going to say, I don't like how I feel because of how I am operating, which is out of integrity with who I know I am. I don't like how I'm being. So let me fix that first. Let me come here. Let me exude that person I want to be and then see what happens. Because if you then start to give and give and give, and it's been a month and you're still not seeing any sort of fruit from this tree of giving, great. Hey, listen, hubby, I fucking love ya. You're amazing. I'm going to need more though. I'm going to need more validation. And what they're going to be able to immediately recognize is that you've been giving it to them now, and it won't be such a detrimental conversation for them because it's easy to connect the dots. Hey, you know what? You're right. You've been praising me a lot, and I really appreciate that. And I actually feel really good when you do that. So I would love to acknowledge you more, and I will make progress in there. I will. You know what? Right now, let me tell you right now, I've actually noticed, and I just haven't said anything. I've really noticed how you've been doing this. Thank you for that. It's awesome. Great job. And you can sense that it's an easier conversation when you have already been showing up the way you know you want to show up. But when you pull back and stop, when you stop showing up, other people will start to show up in your place. Let that land. Right now, you believe you are making the right decision by withholding the way in which you want to operate in an attempt to make it loud and clear that you're upset. Watch what happens the longer you do that, because what that will say to the other person, to your partner, is she is now not willing to show up for me, and somebody else will give them just the smallest bit of energy. And sure enough, that will translate as showing up for them. Watch what happens. You want to know how we lead to such infidelity? is because it's these moments when we've stopped paying attention to the ways in which we are showing up in a relational dynamic, and we are then allowing the world to take its natural course where somebody else will start to show up for that person. And that sucks to hear. And that is a brutal reality. But it is a truthful reality. And it is one of the largest reasons why we find divorce and infidelity and cheating, is because we are not maintaining the relational dynamic from the get go and years beyond. We are playing a selfish game where we are out to get and not give. We are out to have somebody show up for us rather than us also showing up for them. Now, we might be in this conversation at the end of this, and you might be mad at me right now, and you might be thinking, I am showing up for them. What do you mean? Look at all the ways I am showing up for you. Go ask them. Go ask your partner. If you really think this is the way that you're operating, take a breath. Maybe take the night. Tomorrow, go to your partner and ask them, hey, just out of curiosity, like, I was doing some thinking about how I've been showing up in the relationship, and I want to know, how do you think I'm showing up right now? Get the answers, because right now there's a story in your mind that you think you're being this perfect partner, and maybe that is true, but it is way more clear and way more beneficial for you to get the proof from the person who you believe is supposed to be receiving the ways in which you are showing up. Don't let that fester in your mind thinking you're God. You're not. Go find out for real and see what they're seeing. Because we also have this idea that the way that I give is the way in which they will receive. So we think they're receiving our giving without proof. Hey, I often tell you how much I love you. How do you receive that? Yeah, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear? I think I'm giving you the most love right now, and you're saying the way you receive it really isn't the way I'm giving it? Oh, okay, hold on. Well, what is it that I maybe could do differently for you to really feel that love that I'm trying to give you? Um, you know what I love? I love just a nice firm hug. Or you know what? I actually just love when you grab my arm while we're driving. That feels like love to me. I feel loved then. Oh, oh, I've got this so wrong. Watch what happens when you go out and you find proof. And then you can have a conversation. And then you can get curious about what is next. Leave the assumptions and the expectations at the door. Now, I drifted heavily in this conversation. And to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how it started. So, what I'll track through to help you map out the terrain, it just came back to me, is before you start to go and ask, so you can get, start to give. You want getting validation for the way that you look, start showing validation for the way they look. You aren't getting complimented for the hard work you do, start to show them that you're paying attention to the hard work they do. You don't feel appreciated for the things you do around the house, start acknowledging them for the ways in which they show up for the relationship outside of showing up for the house. Find the proof that they are not this horrible person you're making them out to be. Because I can guarantee you there is a lot there that is being overshadowed by the emotional concern that you have, that you're not getting what you believe you should be or deserve to be getting. Now, I'll throw in one last caveat. This is not a black and white conversation, and I can hear myself coming through a bit black and white. There is a massive spectrum of scenarios where this could be null and void, and I get that. And if you're in there in this conversation right now saying, yeah, but, I absolutely hear you. There may be a circumstance that exists where that's not the case. This doesn't work that way. No problem. This isn't a foolproof system. Relationships don't work that way. I get that. But what I'm pinpointing is a very common issue that has a very common result shifted simply based on somebody taking out their selfish demands and starting to get unselfish or selfless in their giving. And then being able to have a conversation later where they can say, hey, I need this from you. I'm looking for more of this from you after we've started to give. From there, start to analyze for the second part of this conversation that came out of nowhere. Are you showing up in the ways in which align with your integrity, irregardless of how they show up? If how they show up determines how you show up, you've got a serious challenge up ahead of you. Not because of them, but it's simply going to be your work to face that, not theirs. This is a you conversation. I'm coming for you. To face yourself, get confrontational with yourself and ask yourself, is the way in which I am showing up in integrity with how I believe I would like to show up in a relationship, irregardless of how other people show up? This is really common in jobs. Well, they don't do that, so why would I? Do you feel good when you go home? Do you feel like you did a good job for yourself? Not for other people. Do you like you right now? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you're waiting for somebody else to do the things you know you want to do, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you're not really loving yourself right now. You're not really feeling full of energy each and every day because you're leaking energy everywhere because you won't do the things that you know you want to do. Now, let's explore that in a separate conversation, not today in this specific podcast, about why you do that so that it can help make sense. So you can understand, what is it about my need for other people to do it first in order for me to do it? What is it about my relationship to fairness that I struggle with? What was it like growing up with my siblings and fairness? What did my family teach me about what is fair and just in this world when it comes to living and cohabitating and interacting with people in the world? If it's not fair, what happens for me? Forget them. If it's not fair, what happens in my system? That's what I'm inviting you to confront here. Maybe out of all the things we said today, fairness is really the big takeaway here. Maybe it's just simply facing the story and the belief we have about what is just and fair. And maybe it's rearranging it to, what does it look like to give myself the willingness, the capability to operate in integrity with me? And if I notice that that is being taken advantage of, then I can place clear structures and boundaries, because that is also in integrity with the kind of person I would like to be. As you can see, we're starting to peel more layers of our metaphorical onion. So I'm going to leave it there for you to reflect on. And I'll share that this is a reflection that I have also had to go through. And it's crucial for me because as a man, I do crave acknowledgement and I do crave a noticing, even if it's little. And even if I don't really respond well, my partner and I, Gabby and I, have talked about it a lot. And I have shared that even if I don't show you perfectly or the way in which I want to, that I really like that you just said that, I need you to know that when you stop saying it, I notice. So something's there for me, and I would really value that we keep that trend going where there's acknowledgement, even if it's in the smallest of thank yous. I appreciate that. I value that. And vice versa. We've talked about how it can support how she digests what I offer her. So it's a conversation. It has to be a conversation. First, a conversation with me. How am I showing up? Where am I out of integrity? Where am I leaking energy? Where am I letting myself off the hook? Where am I withholding? Where am I withholding? Face that. Then go operate. Then go on operate and see what happens. This has been another episode of the Relationship Atlas podcast. I hope there's some value in here for you. Ultimately, I hope there was just simply some awareness for the ways in which you're showing up right now and the ways in which it is crucial for you to maintain how you show up. It is crucial for you to maintain your integrity. And it is crucial for you to get confrontational with yourself most of the time before you get confrontational with other people, especially your partner. Face that, then come to the table. Come to the table without awareness. See what happens. Thanks again for joining. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to. Follow me, The Relationship Atlas on Instagram. Or if you are looking to take on more of this content and you are maybe looking at taking on some of the work that we talked about here today, then I encourage you to follow me at The Relationship Coach _, where you will find more of my work and you can reach out directly. So again, I hope there's some serious value in here. If there was, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you for sticking through this. Again, I know it's been a while and I almost forgot this whole spiel, but we came in hot today with some value. So enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you happen to be. I love you. I'll see you in the next episode.